in between the Southampton and the Watford, Jamaal Lascelles was talked about all week.
Oh.
So we'll come to his comments in a moment. This is just about his contract. Now, I've said this, that the club have been very clever how the market and this. They said that he signed a 6-year deal, and he hasn't. Not in my eyes.
Newcastle do good PR, really?
He literally signed a 1-year contract extension with a wage rise. Do you find that odd, Kyle, considering he's got another 5-year left?
I think it's just to try and squash the rumours that he's going out elsewhere, because he was being linked all over the shop. Man U, Chelsea.
Is there any truth in it? Is that why they've made him sign it?
He's a good footballer, so yeah. Man U need a defence, so you've seen the state of it. Like, they've got Phil Jones and Small, they've kept one clean sheet all season. Man U need defenders. So to look at someone like Jamaal, who's a leader, he's great on and off the field. He's something Man U could really do with, so yeah, they would be after him, and they'd be stupid not to be.
I think. Kyle, are you trying to sell him for your mates who are Man U fans or something there?
It's a dig at them.
No, he's always going to be.
I'm speaking truthful.
But I think signing that contract will probably squash for a little bit on that.
See, well, till December the 31st.
Doesn't matter, does it? Because it's like the Andy Carroll situation again. If Mike Ashley wants to sell him, Mike Ashley will sell him. Whether Lascelles wants to go or not, if a big enough offer comes in, it doesn't make any difference. The only thing that did, that was a PR. You could straight away how it was worded when it came out. Literally, it had Keith Bishop, this person who isn't paid or anything by the club. It had his grubby little mitts all over it. I wasn't buying it for a second. It's a 1-year contract extension. It's not a 6-year deal. He's got parity with regards to the likes of John Jones and that side of it, and I commend him. Anybody who's doing a job would want to be paid the same as somebody else doing a job. That is fine, but to dress it up and to tart it up, I'm not having that. And not having you coming out saying it's a 6-year deal and aren't we great? No, absolute bollocks. It's a 1-year extension with a pay rise for Jamaal, but definitely deservedly so. But if an offer comes on that table, Mike Ashley will be up as fast as he can to collect the money and to take it back down to Shirebrook or wherever the hell he's from.
See, I'm going to be honest. I think Rafa would as well. I think if a big enough offer comes in, I think Rafa will look and go.
Nah, head's gone that mark, because Rafa knows, right? He could sell St James's Park for £100 million, right? And he could say to Rafa, "I'll give you 99 million." Rafa would think, "Bullshit. I'm not going to see a penny of that," because the Mitrovic, exactly. What's the point, right? You've sold Mitrovic. The problem isn't in selling Mitrovic. The problem is in finances not being reploughed back into that team, because all they look for is another couple of £1 million one. So it's just PR bullshit. Not having any of that whatsoever.
I thought this was a positive.
But the fact is,
I bet Mike actually thinks Jamaal Lascelles is a nice person.
I'm just going to rewind back.
Positive for Jamaal Lascelles' missus and Ben, because they're getting an extra few quid per week. But what does it do? Is it going to knock in 25 league goals? It's not. We had Jamaal Lascelles.
Exactly.
We had Lascelles signed to a long-term contract at the beginning of the week. When the news broke, we still had him signed up to a long-term contract, so there was no difference. The only thing that's changed is Jamal's getting an extra few quid, rightfully so. He deserves it. I've no qualms with these footballers getting paid all this money. You earn it. You've worked your way up through the U-Reds Academy and all that, right? No problem with him getting that money. My problem is with the PR and how the club continuously spins this bullshit machine around. No, I'm not having it. Nothing changed at all. Jamaal was on a long-term contract before. He's still on one now. He's got a pay rise. We've got an extra season. That means nothing with Mike Ashley as the owner. You know what I mean? It's like letting Fred West out in a bunch of women or something like that. I don't trust an absolute thing. As soon as I saw it, I thought, here we go again. Same old. And then you could pick the loopholes in it within a few minutes. Message you guys. Yeah, cow shit that. Next.
Everybody, meet Paul. So, Rob, do you see this as good news?
Well, of course, a 1-year extension. It's a deserved wage rise for Lascelles. Yeah, that is good news, but obviously the media gets the opportunity to sort of exaggerate, like with the headlines of, "Oh, get the champagne out, Lascelles is staying for 6 years."
The media exaggerate. That never happens, does it?
And then I suppose we're moving on to Lascelles'
Not
comments.
yet.
But yeah, I mean, when you look at
Hold yourself back there, lads. Come on.
Adjust.
Whichever way you look at it, I mean, yeah, it looks as if Lascelles will be staying, but even still, because it's a 1-year extension, whatever offer comes on the table, it seems like that his price tag will be on the
It's going to have
increase
to
from
be
now.
like by the looks of things, it's going to have to be like a John Stones level type fee for him to go.
Yeah, that leads me nicely on to Johnny. There's some sceptics out there, which you can't blame them, saying that, you know, if we get relegated, you know, you can still sell him for a daft price because he's got a 5.5-year, 6-year contract left. Whether we stay up or not, it's clever. I would say it's clever PR, but also he's going to be worth a few bob having a massive long contract, isn't it?
If you're playing devil's advocate, it's clever by the club, because the club have got him on a long-term contract, and it means that we can sell him for whatever price
Well,
we
we had him
want.
on a long-term contract before.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying it's just clever to add an extra year on, because they're saying, oh well, it's another year, it's another certain amount of £1 million.
Could be another 10 million.
Added-
20 grand a week, isn't it?
Exactly.
The only difference is 20 grand a week in Lascelles'
Yeah.
back pocket,
But-
which, you know, credit to the lad. Credit to the lad. I wish I could get an extra 20 grand a week. I could do with it at the moment.
But the thing is, you've got to remember, he's an English lad, centre half. Haven't England got many good centre halves, and have the top clubs, say, let's say the top 6? If you look at the top 6, Kyle's talked on Man United, but I think Arsenal could do with a good centre half. I think Chelsea potentially could do with a good centre half.
Gary Cahill's
Gary Cahill's on his way out. You look at Spurs potentially if they lose Alderweireld. You know, they've got Lascelles is a very good centre half, but you know, we've got to try and keep him. We've got to try and make this, you know, bigger and better club. We've got to try and sell the club even more. And if he's the linchpin or figurehead along with Benitez, if he's that guy, we've got to keep him.
We should be building teams around these sort of players, but looking through Mark Ashley's greedy little eyes and his little stubby little hands, yeah, his short arms and his long pockets, right? He'll be thinking, oh, Lascelles, I'll flog him for 40 million and I'll get Cahill in. It will be what, £2.50?
No, but he wouldn't get.
And
he
a
wouldn't go for
helicopter
Cahill.
flight.
Yeah, I don't think he's going for Cahill because there isn't any
He
selling
wouldn't go
value.
for Cahill because
I
the
don't know.
age. At the age
You
of Cahill.
look at, well, I'll tell you what, something, right? If you look at some of the players we've signed, it's just like his business practices. So we look around the teams. Who's gone down? Which bones can we pick? Yeah, so we'll get your Fernandez's and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll get your keys. Oh, they've gone down, so we can get them whilst they're weak. It's the same with his business operations. I won't save Debenhams this week. I'll save it next week when I can get it at a quarter of a price. And to me, all along, a club run properly should be getting the likes of Lascelles on long-term contracts, and you'd be thinking great. But with Mike Ashley and that bigger picture in mind, that means absolutely nothing. He would gladly get rid of him and bring a short-term stopgap replacement in and tell Rafa just to get on with it. But I don't trust Ashley at all.
But Paul, all I'll say is that you said that relegation clubs that were getting their players, Key, Fernandez, Rondon to an extent. Would you have not had those players in?
Well, at the time, I wasn't blown away.
But if you look at them now, I think Key was a shrewd bit of business, and I said this when we first signed him. You know, he's very tidy on the ball, doesn't lose the ball a lot really, and he did well. Did well with Shelvey at Swansea. You look at Fernandez; he was a bit not too sure. At the minute, he's doing pretty well for us.
But
And
he was
Napoli.
with Rafa at Napoli, so
Yeah.
Rafa knew what he was going to get from him.
And you look at Rondon as well. Like Rondon,
But
yes, hasn't played many games, but I think he can be one that we can go right. He can get us enough goals maybe to keep us in this division. You look at other teams that have gone players that have been relegated, and you look at them going down. Like Shaqiri's doing well for Liverpool. There's some good players out there, but for us, we're not. I think for us, we need to make sure that.
But if we're going to do devil's advocate
advocate
here, look at Fulham. They've spent 100 million, so they've splashed out the cash, brought players in there, and look at where they are now. So it isn't all about spending money. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to Leicester.
Like how many? It's not about spending money every single season, but bloody hell, man, a decade.
This is about
It's like
Jamaal Lascelles, you know.
It's like shopping in Aldi constantly. Sick of shopping in bloody Aldi. I don't want bloody Bob's baked beans. I want Heinz. I don't want to shop in bloody Aldi anymore. I want to shop. Bob's beans. I don't want that shit. What I want, we getting all this TV money and stuff.
First of all, can we stop?
Aldi's
Can we
really
stop?
good.
I need to know where you get these Bob's beans from.
Well, Bob's pasta beans, whatever.
You can only put what Aldi's Coke for so long, can't you?
That's the thing. We've got all this money coming in. It's like winning the lottery and still getting Bob's beans. What's the point of that? You live to your means.
I feel sorry for this, Bob.
It's time to get the caviar out.
It's time to go a bit more upmarket. You know what I mean?
Caviar and beans.
It's like we're trying to impress.
That's good, yeah.
It's like inviting the last round and then trying to impress her with a bottle of Asda Smart Price lemonade. You're not gonna pull there, are you? A bottle of Asda Smart Price lemonade and packet of own brand crisps. It ain't gonna work.
Some might not know if the label's off.
Fucking hell.
Right. Okay. Back
Probably
to
got the whoopsie one.
Can we just clarify in case you're all listening? There's nothing wrong with Bob's beans or Aldi.
Right. Aye. Because they never know, they might want to sponsor it. Don't think
Not
so
now.
now.
I love Aldi. I love their baked beans.
Many a bargain at Aldi there. Get yourself
We're
on.
not sponsoring them any time. They're not sponsoring us any time.
Let's try and stay on topic with Jamaal Lascelles. I'll go the reverse this way around. Yeah, let's get back to Jamaal Lascelles. What we're talking about. We'll go with Mark. We'll all have a break when Paul speaks, and we'll come back and then we'll go around the table. So, Mark, you was asked the question about in Mike Ashley, and you know he has been misquoted, hasn't he? Because he turned around and said that Mike Ashley is a nice guy. That didn't go down too well at first initially, until people seen what was actually said.
Asking the right person here.
Well, the one fact you need to look at is in the interview there, when Nolan did his interview, Nolan mentioned that when he'd spoke to Mike Ashley, he seemed a nice fella.
And is he a nice fella?
I've never met him.
How's Charlie?
Mr. Chandler, how dare you?
No, go back to topic. Go on.
The fact is, in my meetings with Lee Charnley, he's been respectable. He's been nice. Yeah, that's what I go in there. Obviously, what he's like in terms of managing a football club, it's dog shite. But yeah, when you meet him, and I think that's where because the question was,
you're in the doghouse now. Where
that's being brought up in the next forum. That is.
He's not on the forum anymore. He's getting kicked off.
But the fact is, and I think where the question was, when you had your meeting and your dinner with him, what did you think of him? He went, "Oh, he was a nice guy when I met him." Not, he's a nice guy, but he's had 11 years of shite. Which again, yeah. It was out of context there. It wasn't really brought into.
The media did play on it a lot.
Yeah,
I would agree.
They twisted it. It wasn't what you think of Mike Ashley over the last 11 years, because I don't think the Lascelles would have had the same response to that. His was in that one meeting where he went there. When you spoke to him, what was your opinion?
Yeah, and later on that day, Paul, he went on all the press. He done all the usual, the radio, the TV, etc. And he went and fair play to him, because I mean, how many players would actually go in front to fans' questions? And you've just because. You know that's unheard of.
Because it's unpredictable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unheard of.
What you're going to get in terms of questions.
That's the thing. You've got to, the comments. I didn't like it because Mike Ashley in my book will never be described as a nice guy. But you've got to give Lascelles credit, right, for having the balls to be able to go and do that interview, because he knew the questions that would be coming. So that shows you how gutsy and how much he cares. And it's just a shame that Mike Ashley ain't got the same pair of balls to be able to come and front any questions which isn't scripted PR shit from Sky.
Could you imagine if Mike actually did a phone in though for BBC Newcastle?
Well, funny enough, we've got Mike on the line. Mike, are you there? Hello, Mike. No,
Let's
Mike's
put you
gone.
through to Paul.
Told you his hands are that small and his pockets are that deep. He probably couldn't fucking pick the phone up.
What is about
pockets on deep? He hasn't spent any money.
Wait, saying that he did have his.
No, there will be deep. They're just full of bloody money sewn in. That pies.
Yeah, no, they're full of money. You don't remember the clip that he did when he brought the camera crews round disposed of it and he emptied it out into the tray?
Oh.
That was our transfer kitty which he spent away, mind you.
I'd have picked that tray and rammed it where the sun don't shine.
Let's go back on the topic again. Not Mike Ashley. God, Paul and Mike Ashley. Honestly, you're right. Johnny, you went on BBC Radio Newcastle. There's a couple of fans had a pop at him. In particular, the big one was he's never met Mike Ashley. Well, he met Mike Ashley for the first time in 4 years. He's definitely been misquoted, hasn't he?
He has, but I don't think the club have done him any favours. I really don't. I think the club have said, look, these are the sort of questions you're going to get asked.
Well, he's met him twice now, hasn't he? Because apparently Ashley went into the changing room after Watford.
Yeah.
He's met him twice in 4 years.
Well done, Jamaal. You're a very nice guy. Thank you very much for your signing your new contract. But no, I think the club have probably said, look, these are the sort of questions you're going to get asked by the likes of Sky and BBC, etc. These are the sort of answers we want to give you, so it's easier for yourself. Look.
Do you think the club knew? Because they must have known going on BBC Radio that there's going to be fans who will just literally go full throttle.
They would. I think that's. But again, whose fault is that? It's not Jamal's fault, and I think people need to remember that. And we were. I think I was worried as a fan that he was going to get booed on the game on the Saturday, but no. Look, fans have got every right to express their opinion about their football club and about certain situations. But they have to remember Mike Ashley's the person, or the media team at Newcastle were wrong in that. It wasn't Jamaal Lascelles that was painted as this picture as a bad guy. With me, the one phone call I can remember quite well, apart from the John Joe Shelby one, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but was the guy that was part of the Magpie group.
Yeah, at the end,
and he was like, "You've only met him once. You've only met the owner once." And it was kind of like Jamaal Lascelles, like, "Oh yeah, we've only met him once. We're not really expecting to meet him many more times. We might meet Lee Charlie every now and then, but I'm not really surprised that we don't meet Mike Ashley." And I think that's worrying. And I do think that's really. I think that's really
go
worrying.
back to the Leicester owner.
It is. It's really worrying because you want to think that your owner cares about the football club. And look, we've known for 11 years that Mike Ashley does not care about this football club. But you'd like to think that for the next few years, if he's not willing to sell the club, that he has some sort of plan and some sort of vision to take the club forward. If that is, Newcastle to say get to do well in one of the cup competitions, or for us to try and get a top 10 finish again, like I said, he's going to take everybody on holiday if we get if we stay up.
Yeah.
More beer.
A dirty weekend in Margate. That's going to is going to incentivise these multi-millionaires to pull the fingers out and start getting the wins and climbing the table. He speaks to them like he would somebody from a Sports Direct store. He's got no idea. He is so disenchanted.
What word?
Yeah, to the club. He's so standoff from it. He doesn't have any sort of realisation about what he's dealing with. The multi-millionaires, they're not 18, 19, 20-year-olds
on 0 hour contracts.
Yeah, on 0 hour contracts. Who might like a dirty weekend away to Margate. The top and bottom of it is, if I was like somebody I used to see you last one down there.
Is that why
I've been there when I found out what she spotted. But
did you have a dirty weekend down there? Is that what this is, Paul? Do you need to get this out?
No, there's no comment on Mike Ashley.
Going off topic.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to get you in trouble if you're
I'm sure Only Fools and Horses did an episode in Margate, didn't they?
But
it's sort of one of those weekends.
Going back to Mike Ashley, right?
Oh, you think Paul's trying to get off topic now?
No, I'm trying to keep on topic.
Johnny Boy's out.
But he's got no idea, and it's just again, it's another farcical thing. And you'd think these Keith Bishops, for somebody who's got an agency about PR, he knows absolutely nothing. I don't really give Jamaal Lascelles any blame. He's a young man. He was offered an extra 20 grand a week. Who would turn that down? Nobody.
And obviously he's just had a bairn and he's got a wife and that.
Yeah,
he's got
settle down.
So he's got commitments. So I take me after him. Yeah. It was again more the Southern press liking to take a little snippet and to turn it round because they love the drama at Newcastle because it's easy. It fills the column inches up. That's all great and good for good for them.
Jim White did.
Rob, what's your thoughts on the
another wanker?
The comments as
me?
No, not your Rob. Jim White. Sponsored by Bob's Baked Beans. Check out Bob's Baked Beans. Did I mention Bob's Baked Beans again? Shut up, Jim White. Fucking head case.
He's not the only one who I told to shut up.
So
anyway, we talking about Lascelles' Mike
just his comments.
It feels like he's got a gun to his back. I mean, when you're pretty much asked, who do you think of your boss?
You can't slag him off.
The man who's paying your wages, the man who's giving you this pay rise, essentially.
That's like me going to my boss, slagging him off on a YouTube video. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm out for a job.
Exactly.
Wait, Lee, you have done that. You just haven't released it yet, have you?
Technically, I have new ones.
But he has, Rob. The thing is, he has criticised them before.
Yeah.
He said if I was the owner, I haven't given them. I would give Rafa everything he wanted. So he has in the past.
Lascelles probably still believes that.
And I think,
Yeah,
so it's again, it's just
definitely.
how it's being worded as opposed to the actual.
Yeah.
Back to Tom Rob.
And then I think literally what Paul's about had just said there. He's going to talk well about Mike Ashley when he's in the spotlight like that, but and then he's always going to compliment Rafa as well, and also try and give him the funds that he needs. I did think of another good point, but I kind of forgotten it.
We can always come back to it.
Yeah.
Kyle, initial thoughts before we head for a break?
What, the comments on Lascelles?
Yeah.
They were driven out of proportion. Like, the media, I think it was The Guardian, says Lascelles told fans to shut up about the protest and get behind the team. He said no such thing. Like, I know he's not fond of the protest. He'd just rather everyone went to the game like normal, like last season. But obviously, like, they just drove out of proportion. I have a lot of respect for Lascelles because he's a very down to earth, honest bloke.
Well liked as well.
And I think since Nolan, like, I think he's our best captain since Nolan left. Like, honestly, he does a lot for people, and people rang in on the thing that he did, and says, look, my kids look up to you and things like that. And obviously he plays football for a living, but when kids and that look up to you as a role model, it's so much more than that. And obviously he's a great leader for Newcastle on and off the field, and he deserves his extra year, and he deserves his extra money as well.
Cool.
He does so much more for this.
Let's
arguably we don't deserve him.
probably
I know it's quite a statement.
The fans do, but the owner doesn't.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.